In this video, we're going to show you how to build forms that can create or update multiple records in your database. And this will help you gather information and create relationships between different records without doing all of the work yourself. Before we jump in, let's look at an example so you can see how these forms work. Say you're a veterinarian and you want to save information about a furry patient and its owner in separate records. This is a great idea since a lot of people have more than one pet. A multi-object form lets you establish that the pet record and the pet owner record are different with one form submission. As you can imagine, this can be a game changer for all kinds of different businesses. An auto shop might use a multi-object form for customers who own multiple cars, while an online education platform can keep track of parents who have multiple students enrolled. I'll show you how to build a multi-object form in 3 quick steps. First, we're going to build out the form in Ontraport Pages and Ontraforms. Then we'll add fields to the form and publish it. And then we'll wrap up by testing our new form to make sure it's ready for action. Let's jump in. Before doing anything, you'll need to set up your custom objects and the relationships between them. And we won't be covering how to do that in this video. So if you're not sure what to do, make sure you check out our other videos on custom objects. But once your custom objects are all set, you're ready to get started. First, we're going to build our form. And the main thing you need to understand for all form builders is that even though we're adding multiple objects to these forms, each form in Ontraport is built for one primary object. That is, you might build a contact form or a pets form or a cars form, etc., etc. So when you want a form that creates 2 related records, you'll need to figure out which object is the child and which one is the parent. You always want to build the form for the object that is the child. Now I know this all sounds a little strange, but it really starts to make sense when you look at specific examples. So for example, if you're a vet who wants to create an object for pets and owners, the pet would be the child and the owner would be the parent. In that case, you'd build your form in the pet object. The same goes for an auto shop. If you're working with a car and car owner object, the car owner would be the parent and the car would be the child, which means you would build your form in the car object. One more tip. What I'm about to show you will only work if the relationships between your objects is one-to-one or one-to-many, but not many-to-many. An example of a many-to-many relationship would be keeping records of surveys and respondents, where each survey could have many respondents and each respondent could potentially fill out many surveys. There are ways to take care of those types of situations, but they're beyond the scope of this video. Also, if the relationship is a one-to-one relationship, you can build a multi-object form from either object. Once you've determined which object you're going to build the form in, it's easy to get started. If you're working in Ontraport Pages, you can pick your primary object when you first drop a field onto the page. If you're in Ontraforms, just create the form under the primary object. So, if your object is pets, you'll do that here. Great. Now that we've built the form, it's time to start adding fields to it. You'll need to add at least one field for each object you want to create. So for example, our vet might want to know the pet's name, what type of animal it is, and the pet owner's name and email address. We'll start by adding the pet fields as usual. Then we can add the parent fields. In this case, those will be our pet owner fields. You can do this by clicking the arrow next to the parent in the dropdown. Then you can drill into that relationship and see all the fields for the related pet owner object. All you need to do is select the field you want to display on the form, then repeat the process until you've added all the fields for your related object. And the rest is easy. Just add a submit button and configure your form settings as usual. And that's it. Publish your form and we're almost home free. To make sure everything's working properly, give your form a quick test. So you can see here that Fluffy is a dog and Rosa is the owner. If you take a look at either object record, you'll see exactly how they're related. Congratulations, now you know how to build multi-object forms.